Hey folks, Jim Thomas here, Fitness Management and Consulting. I appreciate y'all being here at the channel today. And before we begin, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Please share this video with friends, associates, and colleagues. If you have staff that work for you, share this with them. This is a marvelous training tool, training opportunity. We've got nearly 1,000 how-to videos here on the site to help get better at what we do, in the gym business. And then to learn more about me and my company and how we can help take your business to that next level, please check out the links below. So with that said, let's get into it here today. Let's get into our topic. And this is key components of a gym employee compensation schedule. Okay, and so let me talk about a few things here and how we like to look at this. Okay, now what I like to be able to do is I like to have everybody set up on some kind of a performance-based program. Okay, because for you as an owner, one of the biggest dangers that you have is if your fixed costs get too high, and now all of a sudden you don't have the production month that you want, you're going to have a problem pretty quick. Okay, so we want to make sure there's some movement in here. Hey, if we produce, the club does well, compensation goes right along with it. If the club doesn't do so well, compensation is not quite the same. You can't reward for non-performance. Okay, and I've seen this as an example, and we're typically talking about sales and selling and management. But think about your group classes. I've had folks that were paying $75, $100, per class, and they weren't really getting the job done. They weren't promoting the class. They weren't working to get more people in it. Their class counts were low. We changed compensation to $25 per class, but there's an upside, and every club's a little bit different. Could be $2 a person, $1 a person, whatever it is. If your room holds 50 people, and we're going to give you a $2 bonus for each person, that's a $100 bonus. All of a sudden, you're making $125. But for many clubs, it's well worth it. If I can fill that class every time, okay, man, what a great retention tool that is. Okay, what a great sales tool when people come in. What a great way to get more referrals. There's so much benefit to it. So I like to see a performance component with everything that you do. Performance at front desk, performance in group exercise. I like to turn group exercise into a profit center. We want to generate revenue. Childcare, we want to generate revenue. So there's a lot of things in here. Okay, but just think about performance. Everything is performance based. And because if people are performing, they're going to be happier anyway. So let's kind of talk about this. Wages and salaries. There's two ways to handle folks. You can pay them a salary, or you can pay them hourly. Okay, and that could just depend on your culture and how you like to do things. I don't know that I have a preference one way or the other. I do think, though, some folks from a mindset standpoint, they like the idea of being paid salary. They feel like that's a better situation for them. Just make sure you monitor it and it works well for you. But generally speaking, what I like to do is whatever that hourly is, say on a monthly basis, or whatever that salary is on a monthly basis, I want this person to be able to make at least twice that amount in additional compensation. Okay, so if they're making $2,000 a month, I really want this to be a $4,000 a month opportunity. Okay, and I expect them to hit it. These are not going to be unreasonable type opportunities here. I do expect them to hit it. I am going to train them to hit it. I'm going to help them hit it. Okay, but whatever they're making in that salary and compensation, I like for them to make double that total. Okay, so look at your staff right now. In many cases, because if you look at your payroll, is your payroll compared to your overall revenue, generally speaking, about 36%. Now, if you're really top heavy on classes, that could run up to maybe 42%. So this is a significant part, maybe your number one expense. Okay, and there's two problems with it sometimes. Sometimes we choke it off. Okay, because we don't want to pay, or number two, we get way out of control with it. Okay, so there's a balance in there on this. Don't choke it off. And people have to be there and produce, because you get it too small, people really can't produce. All they can really do is handle, because they don't have time, for anything else. And then if it's too high and they don't produce, you're stuck. So this payroll is an important component here of how you do it. Okay, and so write it out. Write out, hey, here's each position. Here's how much we can pay them, and then now what's that compensation plan going to be? Compensation for front desk, compensation for childcare, for Group X. Everybody can earn additional bonuses. So get your incentives together. I remember we did an incentive program one time with the front desk because we wanted the front desk to engage in this because one of my mindsets on this is that everybody is in sales. Okay, not everybody's signing people up, but everybody's in sales. And we did we called it a guest pass return contest. And really, we wanted to get our front desk more in tune to handing out passes and really following up, when folks are in the club, about bringing your friend back in and bring that pass back in. And we had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of guest passes come back in. We had stuff come back in from years ago. We had stuff come back in from other clubs, okay, once we started doing that. But really, it created this environment of production because you're trying to create this culture of production. It's the reason you have your compensation like you do. Any kind of compensation or incentivized program or bonus program, really, what are you trying to do? We're trying to train and teach everybody to think like we do. If I'm going to have a 3-day promotion, and hey, we're going to have a bonus plan for those 3 days, hey, we're trying to get our staff to think urgent and make sales now, next 3 days. We want them to think like we do. One of my favorite examples on this, we got involved in a club one time that was really struggling, okay? And had plenty of leads, and they were making calls. They just weren't making enough of them. They weren't engaging enough, and there was no really call to action. And one of the things that I did initially upon seeing all this, I did the prices were such that we could afford it, and we just took this out of the marketing budget. But we created what I called a 3-5 day. And so anyone who got 3 sales in a day, regular sales, not 90-day stuff, 3 sales, they got a $50 cash bonus. We're going to pay you cash immediately, and you can go home. Okay? So get 3 sales before noon. Here's $50, and you can leave if you want to. Now, of course, if they're good enough, they can get 3 sales in a day. I don't want them leaving, right? So we just took it to the next level. So if you get that, I tell you what, don't go home. Stick around. You turn that 3 sales into 5. We'll turn that $50 into $100. So for the next 2, they get another $50 bonus. And it worked extremely well. I mean, this club went from the most sales they'd ever done was 75 in a month to 212. And that was one of the big reasons why right there, is we changed that comp program a little bit to get folks to think like we needed to think. We needed to think, hey, we need sales now. And we need to help them reopen the lines of communication. That's one of the ways we incentivize that. It worked great, okay? And then maybe that exactly won't work for you, but think about that and what can you do to incentivize this? How can you influence behavior? Because with any kind of comp plan, that's what you're trying to do. Trying to influence behavior. I'm trying to influence my group exercise instructor, fill that room. Everybody probably wants to fill it, but let's incentivize them to fill it. I'll pay you $1 a person. You can get 50 people in there. That's a $50 bonus plus the 25. Now you're making $75 a class. I'd rather do that than pay them, $45 guaranteed. And who knows how many people are going to show up. So that's what I'm talking about here on key components of this compensation plan. And then also look at other monetary benefits of this. Paid time off, if that makes sense for you. Insurance, if that makes sense. Child care, that makes sense. Reimbursement programs. If they're out, driving around and talking to local businesses, maybe there's some kind of gas allowance. One of the big ones that I see is it's kind of a flex schedule a little bit, okay, of not having, here's exactly how it has to be, okay, giving them some flex time. This can a lot of times help you hire people that ordinarily you couldn't get. So when you're looking at your employee compensation program, okay, we want it in such a way that we can influence the behavior of our staff. We're also trying to influence the behavior of our customer, okay? So all this is geared toward performance. If you just have folks that, hey, here's your salary, here's your hourly, what I see more often than not is we simply handle what comes to us. We want to be proactive in this. We want to generate, have a compensation program that reflects that. All right. Folks, my name is Jim Thomas. My company is Fitness Management Consulting. Please subscribe. Please hit the like button. And to learn more about me, please check out the links below. And we'll look forward to seeing you all in that next video.